then another article came out and it was like, oh, one's to watch at Tokyo, and
here we go.
And I was like, I was nowhere to be seen, and I was just like, oh, cool, no, it's good, it's good. Let's come from the dark horse side of things.
Good as Gold's the official Gold's Gym Australia podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Good as Gold podcast. We are your hosts, Cal and Emily.
Today, we have a spectacular episode.
Big. We
are chatting it to the dual Olympian Matt Denny.
Yeah.
Small country boy.
To a thick Olympian.
He is, honestly, I am so excited to chat to him. Mm-hmm. Do you think... What do you think you would go to the Olympics?
Look, well, because
what would you
the
specialize
size and
in?
build of me, it'd probably have to be something in the something with the Olympic lifting or something like that. Just because I'm not running.
What are you going, snatch? Or are you going is
full,
there specific?
Full clean and jerk, I reckon.
Clean and jerk.
What about yourself?
Look, I'd like to say I've never ridden a horse, but I'd really like to.
The dressage.
Equestrian or something like that.
Nice.
Nah, I would love to. I'd love to run, sprint maybe, but I'm not very quick. So
No. We'll scrap that because you strap in. We got Matt Denny, and he's good at throwing stuff.
welcome in to the TikTok star Matt Denny. He has a lot of different titles that he goes by, but that is mainly one of them. How are you, Matt?
Good, guys. It's weird to come out as fourth at the Olympics, but actually return as the TikTok star. It's weird. No one really cares about sport. It's more the personality, so it worked out well.
Yeah, it was. I was rough for a second there, but yes, we do have Olympian.
Yes.
Not only can he throw a discus 67. Wait, 67. 67 odd meters. That's freaking incredible. But he is incredibly funny. Gorgeous
to look at.
To look at too.
I'm blushing. It's hard. It's hard,
drink
guys.
12 litres of milk.
We're about to get into this. Matt, for people that are just trying to catch up of who you are, tell the crew a little bit about who you are.
My name is Matthew Denny. I grew up in a small rural town called Allora in southeast Queensland, and I throw discus for a living in track and field, full-time Olympic athlete, and I'm studying Bachelor of Business in Sport and Entrepreneurship, and doing a lot of work around media at the moment as well, which is really fun. So that's kind of me at the moment. What else? I have a beautiful puppy named Frankie. I have a fiance named Mia, and I play guitar, love photography, and love chalky milk.
You are a man of many talents.
Wow. How old are you? That's so many things.
25.
Wow.
25.
My goodness me.
Wowie. Well, can you take us back to the small country town in southeast Queensland? How was your kind of upbringing? I know that you have quite a big family, so that would have been kind of fun every single day. Tell us a little bit about where you kind of grew up.
Yeah, so Allora is about 2 hours west of Brizzy. So like country town, less than 1,000 people. But yeah, I grew up in a family of 4 brothers, 3 sisters. So
whoa,
and it's actually funny. I went to a school today, chatting to a couple of people, and they were like, "Oh, did you have any Olympians that you looked up to when you were younger?" And I said, "Oh, well, no, not really. Like, I actually looked up to my brothers and like my family and like all the family figures that I had in my family." Mm-hmm. And like my brother Jonathan played NRL, so that was kind of that's how I really loved professional sport. Mm-hmm. But then I ended up going down the athletics route. But yeah, it's been pretty cool to be from there. They threw me a parade for a welcome home after Olympics 2 weeks ago, which was incredible because like that's the first thing I've ever really seen in Allora like that. I'm the only Olympian from Allora, which is pretty special to me.
That's amazing.
But yeah, it's cool. It's definitely a different thing to be a part of. I think a lot of people don't understand it, and I mean, I talk about being from there a lot, but it's because of that like sense of community and the way that
everyone knows everyone.
Literally, it was actually funny. So we had a videographer come out for it, and his name's Tristan, and Tristan's out there, and we finished the parade, went back and had a few drinks and some food and cake, and anyway, and the guy who owns the sports club, he's cracking jokes about my dad and my uncle and all these different things, and everyone's laughing. But because everyone knew each other there, everyone was actually like everyone's family friends, everyone's probably worked together, like all these different things. And I turned to my videographer, I'm like, mate, this is the country. Everyone knows everyone right now. So, and he couldn't believe it either. So
you can't get away with much.
No. And like every joke I can imagine just went over his head because he was like, I don't know, Jono.
So it's a cool thing to be a part of. So
yeah, I think that's sick too, because like you just said, like you didn't, like when you were younger, you didn't really have an Olympian to look up to, but now they have someone to look at. Like they'll be like, dude, we have Matt Denny, like the TikTok star, the discus throwing, hammer throwing Thor.
Yeah, basically of Allura,
the thickest boy from Allura.
I'm still waiting for Chris Hemsworth to get back to me about the whole Thor hammer thing. But we'll have to put that on post
surely from one Aussie to another.
Yeah.
Surely,
please extend the arm.
So tell me, did you start, like, where were you in school? Were you athletic? When did you start getting, like, understanding, okay, this is actually something that I kind of like doing?
So I was just like a sporty kid in general when I was younger. So I did footy, I did athletics, I did swimming, I did motocross, like a fair smattering of different sports. And I was kind of that kid that just wanted to do everything. Yeah. And it kind of just went from there. Like I had a really big interest in athletics and the technicalities around the sport, but in grade 6 and 7 got dead last in the state, and it was a terrible start to say the least. And it just kind of went from there. I didn't want to get last in the state, and I got a coach, and that coach actually ended up taking me from dead last in the state to second in the country for under 13s at that time.
Whoa.
And then I think it was 3 years later we won World Youth Championships, and then another 3 years later we made Olympics, and it just went from there. Like it was just an incredible journey, and then we ended up parting ways 2018, and then went to change coaches. But that's kind of how it started. But I fell in love with like the technicality and the aspects of training that you have to do to be an athlete, like a full-time professional discus athlete. Sounds simple, but like throwing is only like a very small part of it. Yeah. So I
was going to say, because it's not like you were just like throwing people around at school and throwing your brothers around. And I'm pretty good at this. Like,
can throw.
I'm like, there's more like coordination, right? I would shot put I enjoyed, but like discus, I was just like spun the arm.
I was shocking as well.
Yeah, there's a like the complexity of the physics and anatomy that goes into it, because I'm built like a monkey. I'm 6'5", but my arm span's 210, which is like whatever that is, like 7'2" or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So which is way taller than what my actual height is. So I have that huge leverage. But yeah, it's just like applying that, knowing your balance, and just creating good force with like stability kind of thing. So there's a lot of complexity about it, which is kind of the addicting part, because even after Olympics and knowing that they're the best throws I've ever done technically, that I still was like, no, I could have done that better. Like even after getting fourth by 5 centimeters, like I felt that I knew that I could have thrown 68.5. I just didn't get enough lift on it and threw out the delivery and stuff. But
I'm sure
it's very addicting.
Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah,
and like hindsight, looking back on things, you always think you can. You're always like, I could have got that extra vibe.
Yeah, well, literally.
Speaking of Olympics, let's kind of start there.
I want to go back to your first Olympics.
Run us through your first Olympics. Like where was it? How old were you? And how'd you go?
So my first Olympics was Rio in 2016. I was 19 at the time when I qualified, and then when I landed, when I got to Rio, I just turned 20. So I was quite young. I was the youngest by like 4 years or something, 4 or 5 years. Yeah, wow. And so it was a very big challenge getting there in the first place, just because I think the throw that I did to qualify was the fourth best or something by a person that age with an open weight. So it was a big challenge. I only got 19th, and I was very disappointed with that. But there was some positives and negatives that came out. Like I thought I should have made the final, and I was in good form to do so. But the positive that came out of it, like when I got there, I felt that I was very comfortable there. Like there's stories about, you see stories about young kids and young athletes that go to the Olympics and their first Olympics, and they kind of, they're packing it and, they panic, and it's, they just don't feel, they feel overwhelmed and all that. But I felt like I stepped to it and I felt comfortable, and I wasn't intimidated by guys that were like 4 feet taller than me. So that was the biggest learning experience for me. And then, from there, like I just enjoyed what the Olympic experience was other than being an athlete. It's like that unity of people that enjoy live the same lifestyle, that everyone, it's that instant respect of each other. Yep. And the partying is quite fun after, like when you finish competing, you get to celebrate. Yeah. All these big house parties and, like company parties and stuff are pretty hectic. Like so it was good. Yeah. Ended up shaving my head with Brandon Stark. Which was good fun. Yeah. Starky goes, he's like, oh, who wants to shave their head? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Is this like 3 a.m. in the morning, or where? Like, can you paint us a picture?
This was like 11. This was 11. We weren't even drunk. We were just like, yeah, all right, let's shave our heads. So much regret. Because like I got a receding hairline anyway, so I'm just like, probably wasn't the best decision, but anyway. But yeah, no, it was a good experience. Like there was a lot that came for it. The year after, actually probably too much came from it. I was so overly motivated that I just trained myself into a hole the next year. Yeah, so I had a terrible year. I had to like restructure all of my training. That's when I made a change from from my original coach and a few other things. So yeah, it was actually overly motivating, which is funny to say because that next season was just so bad for me.
Yeah, you don't hear that often.
No. Yeah, I was 65-37 to qualify and make the Olympics, and like consistent 64 high and 65.
Wow.
And then the next year I finished the season with a 57, and the worst throw in that season was 52, which the last time I threw 52, I'm pretty sure I was like
13.
I would have been, probably like 14, 15.
Yeah, so, wow. You obviously needed that break.
Yeah, I was just like, this is ridiculous. So
what, you were just so keen that you were like constantly on, or what?
Yeah, for all those strength and conditioning coaches out there, I was doing over 63 ton a week at the age of 20 to 21. So my fatigue levels were just through the roof. Like I was used to that. I was still able to do that level, but I was doing it so much that my peak end strength was too high and I was too slow and I was too fatigued all the time, where I wasn't actually athletic and dynamic.
Yeah, and you probably weren't recovering your body either.
Yeah, I was not. I was not. Like it was just too much, and the structure that we had for training just wasn't suiting me anymore. It suited me when I was young, when I was like young, because I was very adaptive and like very flexible, and I still am, but I wasn't to the point where I could do 50 to 60 ton a week and be just instantly turn it around the next. I just wasn't at that point in my life anymore. I've used all of that resource. I'm glad I don't have to do that stuff anymore. So
that's hectic. When it comes to say discus, tell the people at home, like how heavy is it? How, like you're throwing something 67 meters. How heavy is that something? And also, is it a game of like centimeters versus each other? You know what I mean? Like, you lost by 5 centimeters, but like, is everyone kind of throwing 67 meters and it just comes down to the final point something where you actually get
placements? So Rio, Tokyo was very, very tight. It was very, very competitive comp. Like everyone was quite close. So we throw a 2 kilo discus. The way that the competition works is, so you have a qualifying period with an automatic qualifier. Our automatic qualifier was 66. And if you throw over the automatic qualifier, then you don't have to take your whole 3 attempts. You're automatically into the final.
Sick.
If not, they take the top 12 athletes, top 12 distanced athletes to the final, which was the next day. And then for the final, you have 3 attempts, and then the top 8 of those throws get another 3. But all throws count to all throws in the last 6 count towards your final result. Whereas it's funny, people have asked me, does the first 3 in the qualifying count to your result? Which it doesn't. But it's actually an interesting concept to think of doing that. But yeah, so and then it does come down to centimeters. I'm assuming at this point in time, but I'm pretty sure that 5 centimeters was nearly as like it's like losing by
0.1 of a second or 0.01 of a second.
Less than 0.01 of a second in 100.
Wow.
So it was that tight.
Oh my God.
Especially when you're getting at that kind of distance.
For sure.
Yeah. So, and it was funny actually after people would message me like, no, they mismessaged that and like they missed the mark. And I'm like, please don't tell me this.
Yeah,
like,
I don't need this
I've just got to cop it. There's nothing that I can do about this. So
how do you get through something like that? 5 centimeters sounds huge. Like you just explained, it's actually not at all that big at all. You missed it by a tiny little bit. How do you get through something like that?
Yeah, it's, I can talk about this now because it was very tough after, people, it's funny having to, people saying like, oh, you should be like so happy with 4th. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not. And so the fact that I knew that I had more.
Yeah.
So I was very upsetting. Like it really played on my mind for a bit just because like all my life within discus and within like athletics, it's very difficult to make good money. And like I've been at that threshold for a while and then like the rug being kept being taken out under my feet with COVID, and obviously everyone had that. And then I got an injury in October when I was just coming into huge form. And then I was injured for like 4 months. And then during that time, my fiance's sister passed away quite young, which was like devastating for everyone. And then, just to like rebuild onto that, and then to know that I could do so well and to miss like that point of, it didn't matter whether I won, because at the end of the day, I feel that I will end up taking that win.
Yeah, for sure.
But the fact that I just by 5 centimeters missed the opportunity to like really build my profile to a point where, I can really make a good living from this and I can like build my life on from here. Yeah. So that was killer and very, very weird to go through, because like best competition of my life, PB, this sounds like full of myself, but like I was the most competitive bloke there when it came to like consistency and stuff. So I was, I was so happy with that, but it was so frustrating that all of that good felt undone because of those 5 centimeters. So, and to know I felt like I had a 68.5 there. So lessons learned. I've definitely come back as a different athlete to it. Like my intensity has just gone through the roof in a good way now that I have a monitoring system compared to where I didn't in Rio. So next year will be very interesting, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, huge from you, like rocking up to your first Olympics at 19. And I can imagine like at 19, you were probably still a big, like with training and everything, you're still a big boy, but now rocking up to Tokyo, you were obviously bigger, stronger,
better.
Yeah, I was totally different athlete. Yeah. Totally different.
And like you just said, you were like wide in, you were like competitive as hell. And I think that's sick that you went in, you're like, no, I am going to be the most competitive bloke here.
Well, it's funny leading in, and it, as petty as this sounds, I mean, it's every athlete, and they just don't say it out loud. Is so leading into the comp on Sportsbet, my odds were so bad, so bad. I think it was like $250 to get a medal, and obviously I didn't medal, but I was just like, look,
you were like,
because I came into the comp ranked like in the 20s, out of the rank. But the thing with discus is discus, you can have big throws leading in with like wind assistance. So if you have like a 40K headwind and you throw 63 meters, you potentially can throw 66 and a half. But when you get into a major comp, you have no wind, you have no assistance, just pure throwing.
Yeah.
That's why you see these guys rock up with PBs of 68 and then throw 59.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of thing. So anyway, and then another article came out and it was like, oh, one's to watch at Tokyo, and
here we go.
And I was like, I was nowhere to be seen. And I was just like, oh, cool. No, it's good. Let's come from the dark horse side of things. Yes. And so I remember I woke up that next morning just like really wanting to prove a point in the qualifying.
Just to Sportsbet. I just want to prove my point to Sportsbet.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even Sportsbet. I just had that, and I was like, okay, well, Right. And then the article, I was just like, alrighty.
Here I come. Here I come. I'm about to unleash.
It was a good little pep up to to really claim the stake on that. So
totally. Show your name.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing the way that athletics works because I came ranked at 26, but I knew where I really sat.
Yeah.
I knew that I was more up there. So
but I just think that's sick because you were, in a different position in Rio. Now you're better from Tokyo, and now next, it's like surely you've just got to be even better now.
Yeah, well, my peak age for discus, for throws is from 28 to 32. That's kind of your peak range, and then after that 32, you kind of just trying to hold form as long as possible. So, so I'm still 25, so I got time.
You got time, baby.
To build on, which is good. So, I think next year is going to be a very interesting one. It's going to be tough because I'm going to have to be overseas for probably 6 months.
What is next year?
So next year we have World Championships in July, and then 2 weeks later Com Games.
Wow. Can I request? I know you're probably not going to do this, but I would love to see you place at Com Games. You unzip your power suit, and you've just got a shirt that says "How about that, sports bet?" And it's just
that'd be
you
so
see me
good.
now?
Did anyone bet on this? What are my odds?
Oh God, yeah, no, I reckon I'd rate that.
Yeah.
So wait, how the hell?
I'll just draw it on my.
Yes,
I'll just
please. Rip that thing open.
You got to do so anyway.
Surely.
How do you back up World Championships and then 2 weeks later go into Com Games? Because would you not be trying your best at World Champs and then trying your best?
So it's gonna be it should be okay. I'll be able to hold peak for 2 weeks. So I'll compete at Worlds, and then I'll probably just compete and then fly directly to Birmingham to our camp there. Then I'll just maintain that form for a couple of weeks. I'll probably have to have a few days off just to recover because when you get into that kind of form, the way that you're throwing, the intensity and stuff, your neural system just gets fried, and it's kind of a bit of an emotional roller coaster. So you kind of have to be careful of your CNS and just manage that. So it'll be very limited amount of training, but when we do train, it's high quality, explosive quality movement reps. So
I want to know what your strength and conditioning kind of looks like. What do you focus on mainly? I mean, leading up to something like World Champs.
Yeah. So we have a very diverse range of exercises and training systems that we do. So most of the time with so we're in not a rebuild, but just a building phase at the moment. So we've got about 3 months of hypertrophy. So just where we do work around quality of movement, strengthening just specific muscular pathways specific to throwing, as well as just quality of movement, any injuries or issues that we're having at the time. So we're just in a hypertrophy phase at the moment for the next three months. Try and put on another 4 kilos of muscle, which would be nice.
Yeah, wow.
Whoa.
So that'd be good. And then from there we go into more of a power building phase. So if you look at it as a whole construct, so we basically started heavy and slow and ended up at maximum power output and speed. So the end part is more focused towards wattage output. So people that use Tendo systems or GymAware. So we measure meter per second wattage output, and then we try and focus on where my best wattage output is at that time.
Oh yeah.
So if my best wattage output's at 88% RM, then we kind of stick to that for our last main sets, and then do contrasting lifts as well with that to complement that movement pattern. So we stick around. We don't do cleans really anymore. It's more clean pulls, snatch pulls, because the whole catch for cleans actually is a quite strong CNS fatigue. So that's why we work around with gym, and then dumbbell work. So we basically train everything, especially in the whole building phase, and then we go to our set specifics that we want to work on at that time frame. What's been good. Yeah. We usually stick to sumo deadies. We stick to half range box squats. So just more heavier load, but quick returns. Yeah. What else? Dumbbell loading bench. And then we go to a lot of gymnastics work for our core, for our abdominal and stability work.
That's sick.
And
Wow,
even,
that's,
yeah,
it's such a
that's epic.
well-rounded.
I'm pretty sure I'm the world's biggest gymnast. I wouldn't say I'm the most talented, that's for sure. So
I hope you wear a leotard or something like that.
So
when
if
you're
you're
in the-
if you're 6'5", then what do you like? You're in the one something, 110, 115. How much do you weigh?
So I'm overweight at the moment. I put on 7 kilos since I've had my rest. So I'm 135 at the moment.
Yeah.
But when I competed at Tokyo, I was 128. But I'm hoping going to be 130, but at a lower body fat range by the time World Champs come around next year. Just a little bit more, build a little bit more athleticism around that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then our throws loading and stuff, the way that we structure that is, so at the moment we're just going through that 4-week build back, just to alleviate, like bring back in loading, but also, shift away from any injury potential issues. And then, it's just focused on like overweight throwing, specific overloading. We're doing some new trial stuff around elbow loading, so like proximal loading through our elbow. So it's slightly overloaded, but you still have the similar movement pattern. So it's more specific to
this is incredible.
Yeah.
structure.
I love
so,
how it's not as like
So in depth.
It's like you see them on TV. You see you on TV, and you just like you piff a discus, and you're like sick. Like he probably just throws discus all day, but it's like
It's
no,
so
actually
much
my
more
elbow
than
was
that.
weighted proximal to my body when I was throwing it. So like that
so
calibration,
there's a lot of,
like what?
Yeah, it's like throwing is the most important, obviously. Like you need to be super technically efficient, but my tech's at a point where like we've gone past the point where we need to build on stuff. Like we still have small things that we want to build on, but it's more like simplifying and creating like simplistic fluency throughout the throw. And then that's where you create, more length when you're loading up the throw, better tension through abdominals and the delivery and stuff. So
it's not like you're just going down to your local footy field and it's like, all right, I better start practicing.
definitely not. So
that's
Can I
so
ask
sick.
a technical question for a second? This
Hit me.
is the way my brain works.
Yeah.
What's the most ideal angle that a discus needs to be traveling? Like through
From
the,
what your body?
So
like
so
if
when
it was
you're
flying like a frisbee, obviously it's going to drop. If it flies like like
it
just
goes
tell
up,
me.
doesn't it?
You just tell me.
So if you're a right-handed discus thrower, so the way that you want to deliver the disc is, so you want to aim between 35 to 37 degrees. So that usually
We're both practicing.
so that usually comes from like that'll just come from
someone.
easy with that one.
Yeah, that's wrong angle, dude.
Wrong angle.
my God.
But yeah, so like it's all like it all becomes proprioception really. When you learn where the right angle is, then you just ingrain that. But so about between 35 to 37, and then it's all about the way that the discus flies is you want right edge down and you want a slight negative attack angle. So I don't have a discus on me, but it's basically
What? You don't have your discus standing next to you?
it's in the car.
Here's
It's
what I
ready for
prepared.
tomorrow.
Whip it out, just zip.
It has to be ready if I feel urgent to go through it. I got to quickly dip into the park. But so right edge down and like slight negative, and then it basically, when you deliver at that angle, it gets lift, floats, and then tips out, and then continues to travel from there.
I'm sorry, but how big is a discus? Because I remember in school not being able to wrap my little fingers around the discus.
Yeah, a little bit too big to say the least. So a bit frustrating to deal with. So
I can imagine.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to work out the diameter of them. I'm actually not sure what the diameter is, but big enough. Well, the women's discus is smaller. It's a 1 kilo.
Geez, that'd be...
Yeah.
That'd be so hectic. Well, I want to know, you seem like a social bloke, loves to drink on the weekend, loves to catch up with your mates. I want to know, what does your nutrition, obviously you're on off season at the moment, so I'm sure it's a little bit more lax.
I'm coming back. I'm making a return.
Hot boy summer.
I'm making a return.
Hot boy summer.
I swear, yeah.
Let's go. You got to be ready to unzip that thing and open up.
Yeah.
What does your nutrition normally, like if you are going to compete, what does it normally look like? Are you still going out with friends, or are you more like pulling it back? Like,
yeah, look, I'm not like a huge drinker. Like I might like drink maybe 3 times a year. Okay, maybe a little bit more in this last break, but usually like I focus around Christmas when I'm celebrating, and like celebrations between like friends and whatnot. But then also like we have an after party nationals at national after party in Sydney every year. So like kind of those three, like and then anything, and then any other like things that come up, obviously major championships when we're finished or when we actually start having my break for the end of the year kind of thing, that kind of stuff. But yeah, other than that, like I don't eat huge amounts. I've got a sweet tooth, unfortunately. But yeah, like I do eat healthy to say the least. When I'm on, like I'm very focused on like whatever my goal is. Yeah. But yeah, I can also put away Nutella like no one else. So
I want to know in here, like it's been thrown around, and I've said it in the beginning, the 12 litres of milk. I'm just going to put it out there because I tried that milk challenge once in my life where it was like you drink 3 litres of milk,
and you couldn't even get there.
I was severely unwell. Like I'm talking, I maybe a litre down, and it just went up.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, how do you
12 litres?
Can you tell us what the secret is?
So it's not 12 litres in one sitting. I'll say that, but like it's so I did that when I was like 13. So I was like 12 litres in one day.
How can you?
I do not recommend it. Like I felt fine, but I was kind of used to it. But like currently with, you know, if I'm like gassed and I'm like really, really tired from training,
don't tell me
I might put out like, you know, 3 to 5 litres a day
of milk.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Are we talking?
I love coffee, so.
Are we talking full cream? Are we talking Zimmel, like
full
wet
cream.
skim?
No, full cream.
Like
full cream.
on.
Full cream.
That's
that good stuff. But then when I'm dropping weight, it's like I might have 500 mils a day.
I was going to say because quick maths, 12 litres of full cream milk by litre, that's 7,300 calories just in milk. That's incredible.
Yeah. The boy's got to train.
Put 7 kilos on, so that's
true. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. So yeah, but like when I'm on, like we focus around like good structure and like good things around my training. So yeah, there's time and place. I think a lot of people / athletes need to like understand there's a time and place for when you can and can't do things. Learn when to switch off, but know when to switch on, kind of thing. So
I want to know though, if it wasn't say like discus didn't turn out, you started discus, it didn't go out. What would be the next sport that you would have fully gotten into?
I think at this point in time in my life, it'd be golf.
Yeah.
But I'd also, I think if I didn't do athletics, I would have gone straight to footy.
Yeah,
I would have kept doing footy. Sorry,
so,
like I was at a good point at footy when I transitioned out. But I was like, yeah, if I wanted to go back, I could have.
Yeah, and so you obviously had to make a decision. Like, okay, what am I going to pursue here?
Yeah, well, so what happened was in my last season of footy, I made like our like good rep teams, and I had a good chance at making Queensland that year. But then, impossible probables, I got jersey slung by one of my ex teammates at that time that we played that comp with. I got jersey slung off the rip, off the kickoff, and he jersey slung me straight into the ground because I ran over the top of him, and I just slammed my collarbone. So it was more frustrating because of the fact that he was going around skiding about how I broke Matt Denny's collarbone. I'm like, mate, you dirty shot me into the ground. Like I was already over the top of you. Yeah. You just decided to grab me late.
And also, I could sling you fucking around and around and around for days.
Miss Trunchbull style. Come on, boy.
All right, listen, big fella. Yeah, let's go. Take you for a ride.
Absolutely. Now who's laughing? I'm sure he's a bit sad, and you're over here fucking an Olympian.
What an idiot. Yeah.
This actually works well for this guy. I don't personally know the fella who threw you in, but I was making the joke before that, like, you know how that saying is like, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. That wouldn't work very well for you because
it doesn't work anymore. And
you just be like, I'll throw you 50 minutes, and I trust you because I can throw quite fast.
Well, the other one was Mum used to say, act your age, not your shoe size, but my shoe size was 15. So by the time all the way up till I was 14, I was like, Mum, stop talking.
Stop.
Like,
sorry, this doesn't work.
This doesn't work. Get a new saying.
How do you reckon you could, like, how far do you reckon you could throw? I'm 60 kilos. How far do you reckon you could sling me? How many meters?
I reckon I could get 10.
10?
I can get you 10.
Holy
Yeah.
shit! All right, we need it. Where's the time and place?
Body harness on. Yeah. You have to have a body harness on so I can grip. Otherwise,
I can wear a jersey. I can wear a footy jersey if you want. You can just fucking pay back.
Well, I've thrown obviously. So for people that don't know, I used to throw hammer back in the day.
Yeah.
So I was able to. I could throw a 30-kilo dumbbell like 29, 30 meters.
No.
God.
Yeah, actually, probably thereabouts, maybe further.
Your core must be phenomenal. Your core must be on. I'm gone. I'm actually dead. Wow, good to know. Yeah, we did ask off air. I was like, I really need to ask the question, how far you reckon you could throw me? And that's impressive.
You need to do a YouTube segment where it's how far can Matt throw? And it's just like a washing machine, a microwave, like everything.
Just load it up. Just have like this 20-meter long line
like
of
a 2-liter
home
bottle of milk.
appliances.
If you could throw a 2-liter bottle of milk 60 meters, Paul's would sponsor you.
I was
going
to say, surely Mulaney's Dairy for sure.
I've reached out to Oak, but I haven't heard anything back. So anyone listening that want to reach out to them, let me know.
Well, shout out Oak if you're listening.
Oak, honestly, sponsor this man.
I reckon I'd rip the handle off.
You will not regret it.
I reckon I'm pretty sure I've done it before with a 3-liter bottle of milk, and I remember the bottom of it splitting, because you know how it's like that thin plastic at the bottom that's melted together.
Yeah.
And like you're pulling like 5 G's,
bottom out of it.
like the G force is just ripping through.
Well, so for a fun stat, so when I used to throw hammer,
here we go.
When you're throwing over like 75 meters, by the time you get to like delivery point, you're trying to counter like 400 plus kilos.
Oh wow! Right,
yeah. So it's like
the velocity of it,
that whole central flugal force, and the way that you load up. But discus, I'm pretty sure the disc could get to well over. Oh, not 100. I would say you'd definitely be getting over 50 kilos pressure in the hand.
Wow.
Oh, nah, maybe less. But like
I'm really trying to follow along here. I'm really, really trying. I'm like 50 kilos in the hand. What does that mean? But yeah.
You've never held 50 kilos. Like a 50 kilo dumbbell for you would be like, you wouldn't be, I don't know.
Nice. Surely we've just found you a new surely TikTok segment or something like, what can I throw today?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna steal that.
If you steal, please do. No, like we want you to. We've got content coming out our ears.
I'm gonna waste so much money on just throwing home appliances.
Have you seen
where's our new oven? I don't know.
Yeah. Dude, I'm thinking like, you know that hydraulic press channel that they just squish, shit for fun. It needs to be Matt Denny
for 2 hours
throwing shit, just anything, and like people just send it in, be like, throw this, see how far you can throw.
Yeah, maybe you could have sponos so you don't have to, like, people just, you're like, there's my address to send shit to.
The electrical cable and just send.
Yeah, well, here's a question. I wonder if you threw like a microwave oven, like, would you grip it by the inside or would you grip it by the cord?
You're the athlete, bro. We don't know.
I'm thinking, I'm trying to weigh it all up in my head right now. So
I'm thinking that I think good things to start off with. That what I'm thinking ergonomically great would be like a sandwich press, because you got the double handle.
Yeah, so you got the handle.
Or like a Jaffa press, like just a single.
Yes.
Lock it and just go.
Kmart surely has it for $15. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'll send you one. I'm going to send you stuff that you can throw.
Please do. Off air, we need your address.
That would be pretty fun, I reckon.
Actually,
I'd get
quickly
around that.
brushing on TikTok, how did that come about? Was it purely just COVID?
Can we explain first? So Matt does these like when you came back from the Olympics, right? Well, you explain it. Yeah. You explain it.
Well, so what happened was, there was all this hype about, so like obviously everyone knew I got 4th, but part of the main reason that everyone remembered what I did was because of the fact that everyone remembered the fact that I did the whole bodysuit zip up. I was the only field eventer in like especially discus to wear a bodysuit, but also like the way that I did things out on the field, as well as the whole Brandon Stark's roommate stuff. And anyway, and I was looking through TikTok and I saw 7 Olympics posted a video of me throwing, and it got 1.1 million views. And I'm like, okay,
that's not bad.
This is all right.
Some interest there.
Yeah.
And then some kid posted a video of Brandon Stark's roommate. So like Starkey jumped, and then I did the whole like fist in the air kind of thing that everyone saw on TV. And I was like, I'll just stitch it for a laugh. Anyway, the next morning I wake up, it's got 650,000 views and like 70,000 likes. I was like, okay, well, TikTok's not as bad as I thought. And,
if I can be anything, it's a TikTok star.
Yeah, and I just like, and when I'm by myself and I'm bored, when I was in quarantine, I was just like, I make the dumbest videos, like just pointless, have a joke.
They're so good.
Yeah, just kind of laugh at yourself kind of thing to get you through. And and it just went from there. And then people kept messaging me like, make more, like these are funny. And I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. And then I made more and more, and people just like, it was nice to give people entertainment because everyone was in lockdown, like in Sydney and Melbourne. And, and they were also doing very well, like views and likes wise. I was like, this is a way better platform than Instagram when it comes to like getting reach and doing all this different stuff. And I haven't gone back to it because I've been trying to do a few other things, and it's been pretty hectic being back ever since Olympics. But
you had time back then, I'm sure.
Oh, he's locked
I had 2 weeks locked in a room, so I was just like, all right, let's go
what
for
else?
it.
What next?
Just him and his power suit and a visor, and that's it.
all we need.
Yeah, literally. Oh,
no milk. No chocolate milk.
That bodysuit and visor. It was
honestly famous.
It was good fun, and like it made me get creative. Like to be a full-time content creator would be truly insane when coming up with new ideas. I did it for 2 weeks straight, and I couldn't. By the last couple, I don't know if you guys watched all of them, but the one I did.
We've seen them all.
We've seen them all, so.
Yeah, you know the expectation and reality one?
What?
So it was like the video that I made.
No, we actually do, but can you explain it?
Yeah, so I did an expectation versus reality in quarantine, and like as an athlete, and so it was me like working out and reading a book and
I remember
doing all these like and exercising and doing all these like constructive things, but it was actually me just like drinking chocolate milk, watching Rick and Morty, having like making stupid TikToks and whatever. Anyway, and I made that, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do next? And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, oh no, like what's next? Like, what am I going to do for everyone? So for the last probably 4 videos that I made, I was just kind of thinking like, what can I do? It was actually like a bit of a struggle trying to get new ideas.
Yeah, you got that creative block that they talk about.
Yeah. Well, like something like, and I think the biggest issue is what I want to do is I want to be able to make content that isn't, like people don't watch my content solely because I'm an athlete. Like I want it to be like way more relatable to like a normal person, like a normal life.
Yeah.
So I was trying to work out stuff like that, but while still being an athlete. And it was a bit of a struggle, I'll say the least. Like I was really workshopping with mates, like what can I do next?
Yes.
And like,
don't you think you put so much pressure on as well? Like by the end, like it would have been just fun for you at the start, right? And you're like, this is funny. I've got heaps of ideas. And then by the end, those last 4, you're like, is this even funny? Why hasn't it got enough likes? Why is there no comments?
I have this huge issue. Like when I do something, I have to be like professional at it. It's a blessing, but also a curse. Like, because sometimes you take the joy out of some things. You take it that seriously. So not that I took the joy out of it, but I definitely made it much more difficult process for myself by trying to put too much pressure on it. So
and it feels like editing. Like I've done a few videos in my days.
It takes time.
And like you rewatch it so many times and you're like, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yes.
I'm so dumb. No one's going to laugh. And then you think you're funny and you're like, no, they're not going to find it funny.
So this is the issue. I made a video. So I'm making a video about like, I'm back to TikTok kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I made one and I just shook my head. I deleted it.
No.
It's so
I would have killed
bad.
to see it. The worst is when like, you say a word, like maybe you said grass or something, and then by the end of the video you've edited that many times, like, is grass even a word?
Yeah.
You're like, is that actually it?
Or you post it and you think of like something that was better than that original idea. You're like, I should have said this, should have done this.
Yes.
But I can 100%, if no one's seen anything, go and check it out because it's a good laugh.
It is. It's such a
very
good laugh.
Relatable.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been an athlete in lockdown, but I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I miss chalky milk.
That was the fun part. Was like people like the main comments were, especially the chocolate milk stuff that I do. They're like, dude, you're an Olympian. You shouldn't do that. And
yeah,
like,
you're not drinking chalky milk.
I drink chalky milk, and they're like, that's sick. Like, I do too. And I'm like, nice.
The only thing that's missing is a discus. Yeah, like. So basically, I need to drink 12 litres of chocolate oak. Please sponsor Matt Denny Oak. And then just throw discus all day at 36 degrees with 1 degree
we just
negative.
Spoke about how hectic
leverage.
his training is, and he didn't do any. You're just saying throwing every day.
There should be a discus superhero.
He's it. Matt's
that'd be
the
pretty
face
cool.
of it.
Yeah, Marvel.
That'd be pretty cool.
You just throw
I'd feel as pointless as Hawkeye though.
Yeah. Because would you stand 67 meters away from the enemy and piff it and land it there, or would you do it right in front of them?
And just zing.
Nah, well, because you can you can direct it like flight wise. So
so
you just hit it on the run, and like it'd be like a recon drone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Matt Denny going for a pass one. Going to the first line.
Oh, incoming discus bomb. Throwing ordnance.
Oh my god, we've gotten so off track, but I love it so much.
Audience questions.
Yeah, we're going straight into them. We've had the audience ask you some cues. So here we go.
Yeah, can you throw a frisbee or a discus further?
So you know those ultimate frisbees? I actually put my shoulder out because I threw it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, not like I didn't dislocate it, but like
ouch.
I really I really aggroed my calf.
Wait, is this because it was so light and you were like going in because
well, because like I was backhanding it, so like obviously all of mine's front loading, but I backhand it, so like my whole
you're like, guys, watch this.
I had some leverage on it.
I can imagine.
We were doing this driving course at a this is like back when I was at Toowoomba Grammar. We're doing this driving course out at the raceway at Warwick, and we're on the drag strip, and so we're all waiting, and there was a someone had an ultimate frisbee, and they're like, Matt, throw it. This is just after I won world champs. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I threw it like 250, 300 meters. And my shoulder was so sore for like 4 weeks. It was so much regret.
What's the sound that would have come? Because like when I like piff something hard, it's like a what came out?
Here we go.
I don't know. Well, so like when we throw, so like when I throw,
I know it was coming.
Throwing has its own specific, because you're like all like chest loaded up. Yeah. It's like oppa, like that kind of thing. Yeah, but then the other one's like bah, like that kind of thing. Like
it's so good.
But then when I did the frisbee, I think I was like that whole you know when you're boxing or like sprinting, like that kind of one. Yeah, it's more like high pitched, real fast velocity, lightweight.
This is again another one. It needs to be like you got to race like a VH Commodore at the raceway, and you throw the ultimate frisbee, and you need to like and then the V8 Commo has to go the same distance as you.
And then you got to see if the frisbee or the Commo gets there first.
100%.
It'll be frisbee.
Here's a question. Do you reckon when throwing we should just make like a turbo spool up sound, and then on the delivery it's like
yes. All right, another video
Here
is
we
just
go.
sounds.
New video, yes, 100%.
New video
Matt, there is
sounds.
you better be writing these down. You've got a lot of content.
We should do more content brainstorming sessions for sure.
Honestly, get us in the room because I'm full of them, but you need to deliver them. I like your delivery.
Yeah. We'll be the back end.
Next
We'll be the back
question.
end. Anyway, next question.
So for everyone who wants to know, it was a frisbee. He can throw a frisbee 250 meters.
The answer is frisbee over 250 meters.
The next question is, what keeps you focused on the prize, with showtime being once every 4 years?
Well, so like with us, like obviously we compete consistently through our season and like with world champs and com games, but I do a lot of work around like sports psych and just simplifying the process as much as possible. And at the end of the day, like to be able to compete, simplifying it, you just have to know why, like what your why is, like why are you doing this? So when I was like competing at Tokyo it's very easy to get caught up in like, this is once every 4 years. Yeah. This is, such a long time between, like make it count. You got to go more internal and go, why am I doing this? Like, why do I love this? Why do I need to compete well?
I like that.
And then from there, then you find that why. And then my thing is you find that and then you go, all right, that's my reasoning. It fires you up. And then it's about committing to whatever you need to. So like for me, my commitment is putting as much effort into like focusing on a single cue and just giving it my all. Like, it's very easy to go, oh, well, you know, I need to do this or do that and like overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
But it's just be simple and like own that and commit. Yeah. So,
Yeah, they are some wise words.
Just back yourself. Like that's probably the biggest thing. Back yourself and just commit to it because you don't want to waste it. You just got to look at it in the right light.
Yes.
Yeah. That
was good. That's a gold nugget right there.
Yeah, I love that.
That's a good one.
Save that in your brain.
What would you like to see happen in track and field in the future? Like anything?
I think there needs to be a big shift in the way that it's perceived from like the general public. I think.
How so?
I think that it's like I think athletics is perceived as the way that the structure is in the competitions, and I'm kind of working on trying to create a comp where it's faster pace. You know, you bring food vendors, you bring like this whole atmosphere to it. Because you know, no one goes, oh, let's go to the athletics for the weekend and you know, like the footy. And we have so many good athletes that we can present. And I think like Olympics was a very good option, very good platform where everyone realized that. It's like what I want to do is basically, you know, where the tartan D is, like where the high jump is and stuff. So have a quarter of that where you've just got like a drinking tent. Like people can be in the field, they can watch, they can cheer from the side, get everyone like in close and tight and like really have fun and enjoy it and have music, have live commentary over the top and like, you know, even interview athletes during the comp and stuff because you don't have to be switched on 24/7. You can, you know, give a little chat about what's going on and what's your focus now. So I think people like from what I see, people like seeing like what the internals are, like what are they thinking? What
totally
is, like getting that understanding, like, you know, like what I mean?
The behind the scenes type of stuff. Cause you don't get to see that. Right. And especially because let's say the Olympics, the cameras are on you guys when you're actually throwing and that's it. And then it's like kind of see you go off and that's it. That's all we hear about it. That's all we see about
exactly.
it.
And it's, I think just, you know, and I know there's a lot of work, there's a lot of stuff in the works at the moment trying to get, trying to create more social relevancy. And that's why like a lot of my like branding and stuff, I don't want to make it sound like corporate, but like, like I want to swap my branding to building more, showing more my personality than my sport because that's what's more relatable.
Totally.
And at the end of the day, like after the Olympics and like we started the podcast, like people know me more for my zipping out the bodysuit, having a laugh, making TikToks, chocolate milk and all that kind of stuff than my actual sport. Like that gave me more of a public name. And at the end of the day, like I know that people don't want to go and watch discus 24/7. Like that's fine. Like it's a very niche sport. It's a niche thing to get into, but if you do things in the right way, people will still come. So
well, you got two interviewers right here ready to interview your athletes when you have an open day.
Yeah, perfect. I can't wait for it. Like just being down there behind, and you just turn over and be like, "Watch me throw this," and just like,
Like, see that fridge? That's going over there.
Yes,
express order.
Oh my god. There's so much. You're actually a content dreamboat. I'm thinking my head is just spinning.
I know.
I'd love to do an ad. Like, I'd love to do like an ad where I don't know, like an appliance company, like Philips or something. Yeah. And then you say, you walk over, you're like, oh, where'd you want this fridge? And then just pick it up and throw it like into the wall.
Yeah.
That is it. That's what your next TikTok is. And then you tag Philips and Philips then are like, right, Matt Denny.
So I've just got to sacrifice my rental wall.
If you don't mind.
Just have like a little mock kitchen and then see how far you can throw the kettle like through the wall. Just...
Oh my god!
Oh, actually, a good one is just like Mia comes home and it's just me throwing stuff 24/7.
You're like these two guys
stuff in the wall
that I just
and like
met.
flipped.
That forced me
I love
to
throwing things. Sorry.
Okay, I've got one last question. Who is the most inspiring big boy right now?
Yeah, on your podcast, you got the big boy segment. Who is your big boy?
Who's your big boy right now?
Who's my big boy at the moment? Well, on my last podcast, I talked about whale calves and like they put on 80 kilos a week. I still haven't worked out this week's big boy, but I'm potentially looking at the earthquake in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big boy event.
That was a big boy event. Chapel Street got a bit close.
Maybe Dan Andrews, had a couple of steps outside or something. Who knows?
He's throwing it. Oh my God.
Oh, not saying he's a heavy boy, but
All right. Well, we're gonna finish with the finisher, which means we've got rapid fire questions. You can't think. You just have to say.
First thing that comes to your head. So if I said the color like red, what was the first thing that came to your head if I said red?
Orange.
Nice.
Great.
You know well.
Perfect.
Complementary colours, guys. Complementary colours. Get your outfits
right. Good. Okay. Who would be your dream fitness coach?
Oh, my current coach.
Oh, wow. Good
Shout
call.
out. That's huge.
Shout out to Ben Thompson.
Go, Benny.
If you could do one exercise for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Bench.
Yes, my guy.
Yes.
Stuck on an island with one food source. What is it? Chalky milk, surely.
Chalky milk.
That's. Yeah.
I don't want to project, but
people know these before me.
Yeah. Most inspiring person in fitness or sport right now for you?
That's a tough one. Danny Stevens, so female discus thrower that I've grown up with. She's like one of my big inspirations. So Danny Stevens.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's so good.
Who is the best person to work out with?
Oh, there's so many. I can't put my foot in. This is so not rapid fire.
What did
I'm
we do?
going to pass because anyone that listens to this, I'm going to be in the deep end.
Yeah, exactly. No, we said someone who's the best person or someone who pushes you. That's what I said, I think.
Yeah, someone who pushes you. You've probably got
we'll go with Mia.
Mia.
Yeah, actually, Mia's good to gym with. Mia is good to gym with. So.
Okay, well, there you go. Shout out Mia. Who's the worst person to work out with?
Yeah.
Like, not specific humans.
This is your chance
any
to
sprinter.
Throw sprinters.
Any sprinter.
Too much.
Any sprinter or distance runner. It's just like...
You're like, please
it's
stop.
Like they're lifting the bar and I'm like, you make me feel sad. I'm dying inside watching this. Oh, God.
Last one. What is the worst piece of gym equipment?
Ever invented.
Ever. Most pointless.
Most pointless? Leg extensions.
You reckon?
Just squat, you softies.
You really threw Em under the bus.
If she just load that bar up. And people that complain about have you like the whole neck burn on the back, like when you start to load up and stuff?
Yeah.
Have you had that?
Yes.
Callum
does live for that.
Yeah.
You just got to get used to it.
What about a poor old lady who can't fucking get under a bar and squat? You're like, lift, you softy.
Do hack squats.
Hack squats.
There you go.
I hate leg extensions because of the fact of seeing people just get like hyperextended folded knees from lifting. I leg press 900 kilos. I'm like, yeah, but you can't squat over 100. So
agreed. Leg press is one that's like,
I'm a big fan of squat.
Yeah.
I feel like the injury rate's so high on that.
Hack squat or throw. I'll throw you or you squat, right?
Mate, you are going into that wall if you do not get off that leg press, I swear to God.
Poor Betty. She's just slung
throw
into
the barbell at her.
Matt, where to from...
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many voices. Matt, where to from here? Yeah. What is next for you?
Next thing for me is become a bigger boy.
Yes.
Do some more lifting. But just simplifying the process. Just keep going through it. Keep working on my aths and just simplifying that process. Make it clinical.
Mm-hmm.
And then just building on my social media stuff. Building some content and a few things. Obviously, I've got podcast starting and bringing back TikTok stuff, but also just like some other information, like educational things as well as just like, just good vibe kind of thing. Mainly around that. That's kind of what I'm working on at the moment. So
And where can the people find you? So we're talking TikTok, podcast.
Yeah, tell the crew where they can
Instagram.
listen to you.
So the peoples can find me at Matty Denny on Instagram. That's my main platform for all my content. And then TikTok is at Matty Denny _ the podcast is Inside the Cage with Matty Denny. And then I also got YouTube content as well. We did a whole series called Project Tokyo where it was kind of like an inside look of the way that we train, what we focus on, and just that whole lead-in process from when I actually got injured with my rib and then led into Tokyo. So I've been meaning to do a wrap-up video, but I feel like everyone kind of saw what happened, and I feel like I'll get too mad on the old video to wrap it up concisely. So yeah, but no, that's where everyone can find me. So
beautiful. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure.
I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
I'm full of joy.
Same. My abs hurt.
I'm glad.
That was good.
I'm glad.
That was a good time.
Thank you for bringing the vibes today, Matty boy.
No, I appreciate it, guys.
We look forward to seeing your adventures, your TikToks, and also next year's big comps. That they're going to be epic.
Yeah.
I appreciate you having me on, and let's
link
not
up.
too long in between chats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So no, thanks guys.
Peace out.
All right, catch ya. Bye.
Wow, what an episode.
That was amazing.
That was incredible. If you guys did like that episode, please don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, like.
All of the things.
All of the things to do.
On the back of that, beautiful episode. I've been thinking, if you had to throw something, what would it be and why? Currently, what are you most annoyed at, like in your house?
Oh, in my house?
Or just like, something you're annoyed at and you're like, I'll just fucking throw you. What would it be?
What's not working at the moment? My dryer's not working at the moment, so I'd probably throw that. It would be interesting. I would like to film myself trying to even
it's not
try
coming
and
off the
throw
ground. You're rolling it. You could put a brick in it.
Just a push or a kick.
You could put a brick in it and turn it on, and the brick will just internally destroy it.
Okay, thank you.
For me, right now,
what is it?
My little heater that's in the bathroom.
Not working.
You turn it on, and it overheats. It's doing its job.
Our heater's overheating?
And it clicks. I hear it click while I'm in the shower, and it just blows cold air because the element's turned off. So I get out, and it's just the
freezing.
Arctic breeze is happening again. And I get back in the shower, turn the hot water on. So, you know what? If I drain a dam, that ain't my fault.
Surely you don't need a heater in your small bathroom when you've just had a hot shower. Why do you need a heater?
Why are you telling me what I can and can't have? I like to stay warm.
Oh, clearly.
Anyway, I reckon I could whip that heater like an easy 20. I reckon I could clear my driveway and my neighbours.
Whoa. Should we test it?
100%. See ya.
Let's go do it. Bye.